Hello friends, my name is Shayla and today I'm here to wrap up the reading that I have done so far in the month of April. So in the month of April, I have read a lot so far. I have been involved in several different challenges and readathons, and it's been an honestly really fun, good time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link my Bazaar's 24-hour readathon vlog, my Fantasy-a-thon vlog, and my Lohalli 30 for 30 challenges for week 1 and week 2. So if you want to know what all of those books are, I might mention some of the novels briefly, but if you want to know full in-depth thoughts on any of that, I've done a 3 review for 3 of the books that I read during Fantasy-a-thon. All of that will be linked down below because this video will be eternally long if I try to sit and do all of that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the novels and then we will jump into the manga. So during Fantasy-a-thon, I read these 4 books. If you want to know more of my thoughts, definitely check out my Fantasy-a-thon vlog and the 3 review video where I review these 3 in particular. Next up, I want to mention 2 romance books from the same series that I have read. I read A Princess in Theory and A Duke by Default by Alyssa Cole. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed both of these. I think the humor within them was fantastic. I really enjoy Cole's writing, and I love how individual each of these characters are. And the strength that these women of color have, oh my goodness, I absolutely adore them. They are sassy, they are not afraid to go after what they want. Even when they are questioning it, they're still moving forward. All of this is amazing. I laughed out loud with both of these. They are just hilarious. I cannot get enough of them. So definitely go and check out the Reluctant Royal series if you haven't. I know I'm way late to the party on these, but man, I'm so glad I've joined the party. Next up, we have Hard Loving Cowboy by AJ Pine. This is a book from her Crossroads Ranch series, and this is her most recent release. And I ended up really enjoying this one more than I expected to. In this one, we follow Walker, who is kind of the bad seed brother in this family, and he crosses paths with Violet as they have recently acquired this vineyard and winery for their ranch due to circumstances from other books. Violet is brought on to help run the vineyard side of things, and what happens is when they meet, she's in the process of breaking up with this guy, and she comes up to Walker and says, "Are you attached to anybody at the moment?" He's like, "Well, no." And she said, "Okay, good." And she just plants this passionate kiss on him, and that's where they start. It's fantastic. I thought it addressed certain aspects of these characters very well. I'm very pleased. I ended up giving this 4 stars. Highly recommend. Definitely check out the series. Now we have Colorado Cowboy by Sarah Richardson. This is my first cowboy romance from Sarah Richardson, and this is like book 7 in the Rocky Mountain Writers series. So there was a lot of couplings that I definitely want to go back and see how they ended up there, and I'm really excited to see what happens to them. But in this, we primarily follow Charity, who has a sister who's gotten into trouble, who dumps her teenage son on her doorstep and takes off. And with the help of the local sheriff, Dev Jenkins, she is trying to muddle through what to do about her sister and this nephew, while Dev and Charity start to act on the feelings that they've had for each other for a while. It's really interesting. It's really fun. Again, this is another 4-star. Solid. Absolutely adored it. Definitely check it out. I do have really detailed reviews on most of these, so definitely check out my Goodreads linked down below if you want more in-depth details. Next, we have Fame Adjacent by Sarah Skilton. Now, this is a book that I was sent by Grand Publishing for review. I thank my friends at Grand Publishing for sending this my way. This is about a former child star who is currently in tech rehab, essentially. So her phone's been taken away from her. She became obsessed with it when there was a reunion for this Mickey Mouse Club style show that she was on. She wasn't invited to this reunion. And so she got obsessed with being online, trolling, trying to get her name back out there. So she got an invite. And she ends up meeting this guy in rehab, and he's the only one who can give her a ride to this reunion because they changed the date last minute while she was supposed to still be in her tech rehab. So I found this okay. It wasn't my favorite, but it definitely wasn't bad. I ended up settling at 3 stars with this one. I felt like it drug through the middle a little bit for me. The first part, while she was actually in the rehab, was quite interesting to me, how they were approaching all of that. And then the last third, of course, when all the drama goes down, was relatively interesting as well. So I do think I would pick up another Sarah Skilton book in future. I just think this one didn't sit perfectly with me. There were just some things within the plot that definitely weren't my favorite. So I would give Sarah Skilton another chance. And this one was 3 stars. I just don't think I was the right person for this book once I got into it. But I read the whole thing. I did enjoy it. But it just wasn't my cup of tea, as you would say. And now we have a republish that was recently put out by Forever Romance, and that is Second Chance Summer by Jill Shalvis. Now, this is a book about healing and letting go. Definitely trigger warnings for loss of a family member. And this was so well written. I will definitely be reading more Jill Shalvis in future. This is all about like coming home, facing your demons, and connecting to nature in the middle of all of that. It was so well done, so beautiful. Thoroughly enjoyed this. I can't remember if I gave it 4 or 4.5 stars, but it was very well done. I'm very happy that I got this. Thanks again to my friends at Forever who sent this my way. They are just amazing to continue to send me as much as they do. I feel so spoiled. And this was just a delight all around. Definitely recommend picking this one up. Hi, Kat. You really have to rub the tripod right now? Really? That's you living your best life? Really, sir? You sure that's what you want everybody to know you for? Alright, so that is it for the novel portion of this video. Now let's jump into the manga. As I mentioned before, I read a lot during Bazaar's 24-hour readathon, so that's definitely linked down below. And then I do have one other digital manga that I've read so far this month, and that is My Pink is Overflowing. I have a full dedicated first impressions review of this one, and I will leave that linked down below. And I am really proud of the Goodreads review that I have written for this particular manga as well. So if you don't feel like watching the video, maybe you could go and read the review on Goodreads and get basically the same information that way. So I won't go into details here because I've got it in 2 other places for you guys to check out. Another thing I forgot to mention is I did an experiment featuring these 4 titles, and that video is already up or going up soon. So I will leave that linked down below. But quick recap. Kaguya-sama Love is War, I gave 4 stars. Haikyuu Volume 1, I gave 5 stars. Dr. Stone Volume 1, I gave 4 stars. And Tales of Wedding Rings Volume 1, I gave 3 stars. So if you want my more in-depth thoughts on these 4 volumes of manga, definitely check out that video. Next up, we have another favorite here, and that is Tokyo Tarareba Girls Volume 6. You guys know that I adore anything by Akiko Higashimura. She is just the mangaka that speaks to my soul. In this series, we're dealing with 3 grown women in their 30s trying to figure out love, essentially. Their goal is to be married by the time the 2020 Olympics in Japan comes around. And the journey that these women go on, the women in Volume 1 and the women in Volume 6 are very different women for many different reasons and the experiences that they've gone through. I highly recommend picking up this series. It is definitely one of my favorite currently running manga series. I know that technically it's all written, but it's still publishing here in the US. I know you can get it all digitally, and I've never been more tempted to have a half physical, half digital collection of a series in my life than I have with this series. I know there's at least 9 volumes of this series. I don't know if that's completion, but that's what is available digitally, and we only have 6 available in print. But either way, the series is amazing. Go check it out. I'm not going to give you any more details than that because it's super spoilery otherwise. The next volume of manga I've got for you is Spice and Wolf Volume 1. Now, this is a series that I tried on a whim. I know a lot of my friends have read the light novel series and enjoyed it, so I decided to try the manga. And it was okay. I feel like I've read this story or similar stories to it enough that I wasn't really drawn in. This one also does have some explicit content. The way that our little wolf spirit, I guess you could say, is drawn is very much she has a female human body and then like ears and a tail. So when you first meet her, she's naked. That's all I have to say. It's very detailed and specific in the art style, which is beautiful in its own way, but as the story continues on, I didn't continue to appreciate that part of the art style, I guess you could say. So I will not be picking up any more of Spice and Wolf. I enjoyed it well enough that I ended up at a 3-star with it, but it's not one that I'm going to continue to collect for my shelves, as I don't think this is one I would revisit often. Next up, we have The Water Dragon's Bride Volume 9. You guys know I'm obsessed with this series. I'm current on the physical publish of it. It is so good. This particular volume spoke so much as to the characters and their mindsets and where they're at in the story. It was just so well done. I seriously love this series. If you have not tried this series, this is an isekai style story. If you don't know what that means it's a person from modern times transported into a fantastical world. Anyways, so our main character, Asahi, she is transported into this world as a child. And because people don't know what to do with her and her beautiful hair, she is sacrificed to the water dragon god. And he takes pity on her and accepts her offering and keeps her alive. So she now is the bride of the water dragon god, and it's fantastic. I absolutely adore it. It's so good. Definitely check it out. Next, I continued on in Takane and Hana. You guys know I'm obsessed with this age gap romance. It is so freaking cute. So cute! And I just am so invested in these two. Everything remains very innocent at this point because she is still a teenager. She's 16 and he is an adult. So they're not crossing that line. It's so well done. Oh my goodness. But her family at least is very on board. They know exactly who he is, how old he is. He actually works with her father. So the family is aware. And they love that they're respecting each other enough to keep their distance. But either way, this is really fun, full of shenanigans. I just really thoroughly enjoy it. So definitely check out Takane and Hana if a cute age gap romance is your thing. Next up, I continued on in Honey So Sweet. I adore this series. Nao and Taiga are too cute for words. Oh my gosh. They are just my precious babies. I just love them. Go and read this so you can enjoy my babies as well. So I read volume 3 and volume 4. This series is complete at 8, and I did place an order in which I will be receiving the volumes that I'm missing. So I will be finishing this series very, very soon. I continue to love it. It's adorable. There's a dynamic where one of Taiga's friends is trying to come between him and Nao, and obviously it doesn't work, but you know, spoilers. Oh well. And yes, so these two, it's interesting to see how they grow through that experience with Taiga's friend. So it's great. They grow closer together, but they also grow as individuals, and it's beautiful to watch. They're just too cute for words. There's no other way to describe them. They're just adorable. They are both little cinnamon rolls. Go read about them. Okay, friends, so that is everything that I have read in the month of April thus far. I know it's a lot, and there's a lot of stuff down below that I didn't even talk about. So definitely check out those other videos. Let me know what your favorite thing you've read so far this month is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.